Lana, I'm fucking losing it right now. Like, I'm seeing people's, like, I fucking heard Pete, and I'm seeing people's skeletons right now. I'm not alright. Dad, this is not normal. Like, what is going on? And they basically say, we don't know where you're from, we don't know what you are, but you're not from Kansas, you're a fucking alien. And Clark touches it, and it starts saying things in an alien language, and they're like, that's never happened before. Gives the final message from Jor-El and Lara. You're our only son, we're sending you off because our planet's dying. You know, you're not gonna be like everybody else, you're gonna be different because of the yellow sun.
Man, that hit Martha hard too, though.
She's seeing her actual mother. Like, she doesn't want to lose her son to this. So yeah, they give the whole speech, like, you were born on a planet with a red sun, you're going to a planet with a yellow sun, that'll make you extremely powerful, you won't be like a normal person. I couldn't save the planet, but I saved you, yada yada yada. You know the origin of Superman. And of course, Clark, being a teenage boy, freaks the fuck out because it's like, not only am I developing these ridiculous powers, not only did I hurt my friend, not only am I adopted, but I'm a fucking alien.
That's like 4 things right there.
And he's like, he shoots his laser at it and like, fuck, no, I don't want to do this. Like, this is fake. Why are you doing this? Why are you showing me these things that are bullshit? That's crazy. And he runs out in the field and he's like, Pa, I just want to be your son. Like, I don't want to be an alien. I don't want to be those people's kid. Like, I just want to be your kid. And he's like, Pa Kent, saying the right thing, Zack Snyder. It's like, you are my kid. I'm just joking. He did say that in the movie. I don't like that movie. I'm just being a dick. So yeah, that's literally a direct line from the Man of Steel movie. Like, when Jonathan Kent's like, you are my son, that's literally a direct line from this.
Okay.
Cut over to a drunk yelling at his kid. His daughter is like, please stop yelling. Just calm down, Dad. And the kid, he tumbles over a green rock in the field. The kid turns out to be Lex Luthor, and that green rock turns out to be kryptonite. Lex Luthor was a kid in Smallville, same as Clark.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
Is it just this continuity?
No. Okay, so originally, no. Originally, he was not from Smallville. He was just a guy. Like, originally, Lex Luthor has gone through a lot of iterations. Originally, he was just like a mad scientist who just...
Like spilled chemicals on his head that made him go bald or something?
Originally, no. Sort of. Originally, he was just a guy. He was just a bald dude who was a mad scientist who fought Superman from time to time. Then they eventually developed the book Superboy, which chronicled the younger years of Superman, and they then retconned it that Lex Luthor was a childhood friend of Superboy, and a fire or something. Like, I think he was like working with chemicals and he caused a fire, and Superboy tried to save him, but accidentally led to him burning off all of his hair, and he was like, from now on, I'm your enemy because
I lost my hair
because of you.
And not my
You know,
life.
it was kind of my fault, but I won't blame myself. With the Crisis, they rebooted Lex Luthor to be, he wasn't a mad scientist, he was just a businessman. He was Donald Trump. And literally he was modeled after Donald Trump when he was first reintroduced. Like, there's literally a storyline where the cover is Lex Luthor, but it's the cover of Donald Trump's book.
Oh my god.
It's literally an exact replica of that book cover with Lex Luthor instead. Like,
That's so cringe.
I'm not being political or anything. Like,
Things that didn't
he
age
literally
well.
is supposed to be Donald Trump. So they retconned that he was just a guy in Metropolis that didn't like Superman. They then retconned it again because of the success in Smallville. Him and Superman and Lex Luthor are friends, like from the start, and that was so successful that they then in Birthright, the story I was talking about earlier, they retconned that Lex was in Smallville and friends with Superman, and then he became the Lex Luthor that we know, and they're doing the same in here.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the whole thing. Clark has to wear glasses. His mom models, takes some frames and takes 2 pieces of the ship that Clark knocked off when he was like punching and stuff, and she fashioned them into glasses for him, because until he gets control of his heat vision, the heat vision won't go through the glass.
Okay.
So it'll just hit the glass and it won't burn anything until he gets control of it. So that's where Superman gets his glasses. Martha goes in and touches one of the crystals from the ship, and she gets like downloaded like a bunch of Kryptonian lore and knowledge. She like learns about General Zod, Brainiac, Doomsday, because all of those people have connection to Krypton in some way. And she learns what Kryptonian society was. And yeah, she just gets downloaded some stuff. Clark, he wants to hang out with his friends, but he's like, well, I can't play football with them anymore because
He's scared.
I fucking made a steal. I just can't do it anymore. And they're like, call him a nerd and a dweeb, and he becomes like super lonely and stuff. Like, Pete is still his friend, but Pete's gonna live his life and play some football. But, he's still got Lana, and they go to a little fair. And at the fair, he meets Lex Luthor, who's selling some old books of his. One of them is a book called Are We Alone? It's about aliens. They bomb.
Clark, definitely not.
Lex is like, yeah, I'm just trying to sell some books so that I can afford college, so I can get the fuck out of this town, because I hate it here. Because it's a small town and he wants to be in a big city, and he hates his dad, who's a drunk and abusive. So Lex gets to talking with Clark. They bond over interest in aliens, and Lex is like, you want to see something extraterrestrial? And he's like, whips out the kryptonite. And this is the first time Clark is being exposed to kryptonite, and he like faints and knocks over Lex's stand. Lex is like, careful, you fucking klutz. breaks open the jar that it's in. He's like, you fucking idiot. Like, what is wrong with you?
It's a rock, bro.
It's a rock from space. What the fuck? So then, while he's walking away from that, a tornado starts. Lana, who gets gotten it, and it's tearing up the whole place. Lex gets away. Clark's running over to Lana, like, I gotta get Lana. She's like, cause he could hear her, like screaming.
Oh, poor guy.
So he runs to her, and then he starts flying.
Let's go.
And he catches her, and he's like, I'm fucking flying. And
so let's just go with it.
And they survive, and he saves her. He's flying a little bit, but he's not used to it. And what's that? He's flying. He's not used to it, so he crashes in a lake. He's like, "Lana, you all right?" She's like, gives him a little kiss, and his heat vision goes off, but luckily,
Thank God for them glasses.
Glasses on, and he gets to enjoy a kiss with Lana. So just he starts the day. He's getting razzled by the bullies because he's being a wimp, but he gets to kiss a girl. So
He gets to kiss a girl, so who cares, honestly?
and he gets to fly, and he goes home, and he's like, "Pa, I fucking flew. Like I saved Lana. Like I'm so happy right now. Like this is great." And I want to do more. Like, I got these powers. Like, I could do something to help people. So, Martha, after getting the downloaded stuff in her brain, she's like, well, if you're going to do that, you're going to have to wear something. Like, you can't just wear your street clothes like that, because then people will know who the fuck you are. So I've been designing something for you. And
Little moms.
yeah, she designs a costume for him. Clark's like, I don't want to wear a costume. Like,
He's still like
costume?
14. He doesn't want to look silly.
well, that looks stupid. He's like, and Pa Kent's like, dude, it's made of material from like the blankets that he had as a baby. I did like break a chainsaw just to make it. So try it on. So he does. He comes down, and Pa Kent's like, Martha, you made it a little tight. It's a little weird looking. And then we get Superboy.
Aww.
Oh.
He's like, I hope you like it, because I am never wearing this again.
Allegedly.
That's pretty cute.
And that's the end of the first chapter. So next chapter, we rejoin Mr. Luthor. He's drunk and
What a rascal.
belligerent, and he's driving on a road that's like overlooking a cliff. And there's rocks in the road, and he swerves because he's a drunken idiot, and his brakes are fucking out.
Because he's a poor idiot at that.
Yeah, and he goes off the side, but luckily, Superboy is there to catch him and save him, and he's fine.
And he's in the costume, so.
Yeah, so
Nobody will even know.
despite the fact that he hates the costume, he wears it anyway. Because he's a good boy.
For mom.
Yeah. Luthor, he gets let go. He almost died. Just get the fuck out of here. Like, they don't arrest... Like, he's arrested for a little bit, but he just get out of here. Lex is informed that, hey, that's a miracle. Your dad's alive. There are no such things... He's like, there's no such things as miracles. Lex tried to kill his dad.
That's why the brakes
Yeah, he
were
cut the
out?
brakes.
Oh my god. What a savage.
Like, he... Fuck this guy.
He probably destroyed the cliff too.
Clark is getting some notoriety, like in the newspaper. It's like they're calling him Superboy. And he's like, Superboy? What are they called Superboy?
I'm Superman!
He's like, alright, whatever. So there's scenes that are just character building scenes. Like, he's looking up at the sky and he's talking to his dad. He meets up with Lex again. Lex is like, dude, we gotta get out of this fucking town. Like, he shows him a book of Metropolis. Like, this is where I should be. Like, I should be.
Look how glorious this is.
Like, not fucking Smallville, Kansas.
Smallville, Kansas, more like Largeville,
Metropolis. That's exactly Metropolis. That's where I want to be. He's like, got to get out of this town. He's like, Clark is trying to be friendly with him, but Lex is like, you're an idiot. You don't know you're just another small town idiot.
So,
like the
like,
rest of them.
Lex and Soups is very much of like, they ended up the way that we know them as because of the nurture. Like in the nature versus nurture kind of argument.
Yes, yeah,
You can see exactly why Lex is Lex and Clark is Clark because of the love and attention they
exactly.
Okay.
So Superman is like this great good guy because his parents were such good people. Lex is a piece of shit because he was raised by a drunken asshole and he had to be an asshole.
Yeah.
And he tried to murder him. But yeah, so we catch up with Clark and Lana, and she's all into him. She's like
a man that can fly.
Let's date. Like, what's going on? Like, like, I keep kissing you, but you're not, like, we're not actually, like, going out.
Yeah.
And Clark's like, Lana, I got a lot of shit going on right now. I'm not, like, I appreciate you kissing me, but number one...
I didn't ask for that.
Number one, you're kind of... my eyes are kind of blasting shit out of them at the moment.
You move my glasses 1 inch to the right, and I'm gonna give you a lobotomy.
Number two, I'm trying to be a superhero? Like, I'm under a lot of... I like you, and I might even love you, but I can't deal with this right now. Like, this is not a good time for me to be in a relationship. So Lana, like, walks off, is, like, mad at him, is like... And that's, like, basically his, like, last, like, friend that he spends a lot of time with. Like, he's still friends with Pete, but Pete's doing his...
Football.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. Like, he's living his life.
Mm-hmm.
And he's, like, listening in on everyone else, having a good time, living their life. He's like, hey, Clark, you wanna play? It's like, no, I can't. And he's just upset. So he walks away, but don't worry, because just over there, 3 superheroes are like, hey, don't worry about it, Kal-El. Things will work out. And it turns out to be Cosmic Boy, Saturn Boy, and Lightning Lad, 3 members of the Legion of Superheroes. Who are the Legion of Superheroes, you might be asking?
Yeah, I am.
So Legion of Superheroes are superheroes from the future who were inspired by Superman from his time after he's long gone. They're in the future, it's like illegal to be a superhero. It's illegal to be a superhero now, but it's really illegal in the future to be a superhero, and they decide, we're going to be superheroes because Superman's great. So they're basically a group of Superman fanboys that have joined together to become a legion.
Are they also Kryptonian?
No, they're not human though.
Okay.
The Legion of Superheroes are mostly made up of... Earth is like now a hub for aliens. Like aliens from all over the place.
In the future.
In the future. Is like a hub, like, because, like, the Justice League is, like, comprised of, like, 50% aliens. So, like, aliens just start... It's like, Earth's a pretty cool place. Let's go to Earth. So in the future, all the members of the Legion of Superheroes are from different planets. Cosmic Boy, I think his powers have to do with he can control metal. I think I can't remember exactly. Saturn Girl, she's telepathic. Lightning Lad can generate lightning, and they all have these rings that allow them to fly. So they're basically like, hey, Superboy, like, things are shit now, but eventually you'll leave high school and you'll do some fucking crazy things. We're from the future and we're huge fans of yours. We're not supposed to fucking be here. We're not supposed to be using time travel like this, but we're such big fans of yours that we had to come and see you. But we gotta go now. So don't stress too much about it. And then Clark's like, can I go to the future?
He said, I need some friends like me.
I need some friends.
Oh.
And they're like, well, we're not really supposed to, but...
Superman wants to be our friend?
Fuck it. So they take him to the future.
Yes.
And they tell him, hey, put on your costume, we're gonna have some fun. And they just, they go through, and Clark sees the future. He's like, wow, this is crazy. They explain what the Legion is. They explain that they have these rings, that the Legionnaire flight rings that allow them to fly. And they basically, they stop some crime. They basically have a fun day with, like, Clark's made some new friends, and I'm skipping through some of this because it's. So eventually they meet up with Brainiac 5, who is an ancestor of Brainiac, who is a good guy. Brainiac is a bad guy. Brainiac 5 is a good guy.
Okay, I was about to say.
Yeah. He doesn't know that yet because he hasn't met Brainiac yet, but...
He, like, barely knows of their existence, or was that Martha that knows of Brainiac's existence?
It's not clear.
Okay.
Because it only shows... Presumably, I would assume that Clark looks at the crystals too, but it only shows Martha, so I don't know. But yeah, Brainiac 5 is like, you idiots. Why did you bring him here? This is super dangerous and bad.
Take that, boy! That's the year you found him.
But like Triplicate Girl and Phantom Girl are like, yeah, but like, it's Superman. And he's like kind of cute. And he's like our age right now. And Superboy's like, this
so I
is
just
nice.
had to break up with Lana, but these girls got the same powers I do.
Yeah, but
so...
one of them can like duplicate twice, so there's 3 of them now. So now there's like 4 girls after me.
That's crazy.
So like, what happens in the future stays in the future. Like, Lana's not gonna know. But Brainiac's 5's like, get him the fuck out of here.
GTFO!
He needs to go to his own time. Or else we won't fucking exist, you idiots. So it's like, alright, Brainy, fine, we'll take him back. Jeez.
You just had to be here.
Timeline, continuum, whatever. Fine, Brainy. Fifth level intellect or 9th level intellect, whatever. So they take him back, and he's like, "This was awesome. This was the most fun I've had in a long time." And he's like, "I wish we could do this again." And it's like, they're like, "We can do it again. Just
Don't tell Brainiac.
yeah, we just won't tell Brainiac." So they lightning lad marks the tree with lightning. It's like, anytime you want to hang out with us, just come back to this tree, and we'll know. And
just vibes, you know.
I think it's more like they'll stop by. Like if he's there at this time, because they can come back anytime they want. They'll just stop by. If he's there, they'll take him for an adventure. If he's not, they'll just go home. So they just hang out with him. So now Superboy, like, he doesn't really have friends in the present, but he has a lot of friends in the future. So
sure.
So yeah, he goes home and tells his parents that they were all wearing these crazy costumes. They were awesome. It's like, I thought you didn't like the costume. It's like, well, I kind of like it now.
You changed my mind, Mom.
I changed my mind. So then there's an earthquake, and there's an earthquake, and Superboy hears something. He hears the Kryptonian language. He's like, what is, like, that's weird.
And is it kind of like Doctor Who, where it just kind of clicks up there? Because he hasn't ever officially been taught the Kryptonian language.
I think it's more like he knows what it sounds like now.
Okay.
And he's like hearing it.
And he's
He
like,
doesn't know
what's
what
with
it's
that?
saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's like, that's not an earthquake.
That's no earthquake.
That's not an earthquake. Something's coming this way. So it's another ship. Another ship's coming down, blasting down, and Superboy goes up and he catches it, and it's revealed to be. He hears a bark or an arf.
Woo!
And it's Crypto the Super Dog. We don't see him, but the implication is it's another one like me, and it's a dog.
Rough and away.
And he's like, you could see, like, he's like, oh yeah,
He's like, F
I
yeah,
got a
let's
fucking
go.
dog.
That's all. I might not have friends, but I got a dog.
So it just like, was this just a canon event that was going to happen even pre-future visiting, or
Yeah. So like it's not explicitly said. Like I said, this is very condensed down.
Okay.
And it takes like elements from all over Superman's history and condenses it down. So basically, Crypto the Superdog, he was in some origin. It varies, but the general consensus is that when Jor-El was testing the ship to send his son, because he had to test it, he could just send his son off in a ship in the middle of space. He sent Crypto out first. And something happened with the ship, didn't quite get to Earth as fast as Clark's did, and it arrived after him.
Like 17 years later.
Yeah, but, that's space.
Space.
Space crazy thing. The stars that we see, those are like dead.
Yeah.
So then we cut to the police chief coming to Lex Luthor's house to say, your father died. He had a heart attack, and Lex killed his dad.
Okay.
Like, he caused something to...
He medicated his dad or something.
To cause him to die. And he collects the insurance that he had, and now he's moving off to Metropolis. Because fuck you, Dad.
He had a plan, and he accomplished it one way or the other, I guess.
He certainly did. So that's the end of that chapter. Next chapter, we've jumped forward a lot. Clark is now an adult.
An adult. He's got crow eyes.
Yes. This is another good part to stop and marvel at the art. The art in this is very good. The art in this is all the characters are very lifelike in this. Like, Clark is very clearly based off of Christopher Reeve, Superman from the 1970s movie. And if you know what he looks like, it's like, that's just dead on. Like, that's just Christopher Reeves.
Yeah.
What do you think of the art?
I think it's really nice. As someone who's a little special with the art, a little
artistically trained.
Yeah, exactly. Artistically trained. I feel like it's very similar to what you were saying about the Batman, where there's just enough detail to get the point across, but it's not like cluttered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, you can tell that the superheroes from the future are superheroes, but it's not like there's a bajillion things going on that ADHD brain can't, like, comprehend,
So the penciler is Gary Frank, and the inker is John Seibel. Sure. I don't know too many things that they worked on.
Well, this is good. So
yeah.
What more do we need?
Yeah. I just thought that it was a good time to point that out because we're getting introduced to adult Clark.
This adult Clark is spot on to Christopher Reeves, though, like you were saying. Like, the down to, like, expressions that I could literally see him making in the movie.
Yeah, it's very good. So, we join adult Clark. He's come to Metropolis. I guess Lex Luthor inspired him a little bit to, I'll go to Metropolis. That seems like a good place. The first thing he does is Lady bumps into him. He's like, hey, I'm sorry, ma'am. Let me help you with your purse that she dropped. He's like, get away from my purse. What are you trying to do with my purse? And he's like, he's just a nice farm boy who's just new to the city, and the city's just like, you're just assholes.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, get away from me. Like, what are you trying to do to me?
Yeah.
Like,
You're gonna steal my purse. I'm smarter than that.
yeah. And he's like trying to, he's like saying good morning to people, and like, shut the fuck up, good morning. He's like crossing the street, and people are yelling at him. He's like, everybody's just angry and mad and whatever. He gets a ride in a taxi to his new job. He's starting his new job today at the Daily Planet, and we see inside the Daily Planet, Clark's being clumsy, being a mess. He's like falling over, slipping on wet floors, and just being a Clark Kent.
A little klutz.
Being a little klutz. And he meets a dude named Rudy Jones, who's a janitor. And he gets to talking with Rudy Jones. Clark's like, how's it going? I'm a new reporter here. He's like, Rudy's like, kind of a dick. He's like, who cares? I don't care. Like, I'm just a janitor here. Like, what are you talking to me for? He's like, oh, just being nice. It's like, what do you got in there? Just a little lunch. It's like, oh, I didn't bring a lunch. Rudy's like, I didn't bring a lunch today. I'm kind of upset. It's like, well, if you want. Clark's like, well, if you want my lunch. It's like, yeah, I'll take it. And he just takes it. Because Clark's just a nice guy and Rudy's just a selfish dick. So Clark goes up to the top floor and we get introduced to a few people. Kat Grant, who is, I think she is a fashion columnist. She does, I think, no, it's gossip. It's gossip. She has a gossip article thing. I don't know how
like
newspapers work.
Like a Dear Janet type thing.
Yeah. And then we're introduced to Steve Lombard, who's the sports guy for the newspaper. And we're introduced to Jimmy Olsen, who's an intern bringing in a bunch of donuts and coffee to everyone. And everyone's like, just get out of the way, Jimmy. And Clark's like, hey, let me help you with that. Because he's a good guy. And he's just like, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Clark Kent. I'm a new journalist here. I'm Jimmy Olsen. I'm a photographer. And they just, they get to know each other. But then Clark hears someone yelling, and it turns out to be Lois Lane. And she's yelling at Perry White, the editor-in-chief. Lois is yelling about Lex Luthor. Because Lex Luthor does this thing where he has everyone gather outside of his building. He's rich now. We've jumped forward. He's already rich. He's already made his fortune.
Got LexCorp going.
Yeah, and he has everyone stand. He has his people stand outside of his building, and every morning he will pick one person, one special person, to come inside of LexCorp. And he will give them something.
I hate that.
He will give them something for their life. Because he's such a humanitarian.
What a good guy.
And Lois is like, this guy is bullshit. Like, he's just an asshole. Like, he's just a piece of shit. Like, why are we not writing about this guy? And Perry's like, dude, we're like a newspaper. Like, we're dying here. Like, we can't go against one of the most powerful dudes in the city.
Yeah.
I got nothing for. Like, we can't do that. I don't have the money for it. We don't have the resources for it. That guy will fucking bury us in litigation if we say something wrong. Like, no, we can't do that. Stop it. And Lois is like, no, like, truth, justice, and the American way. Like, people need to know, like, this guy is, like, doing, like, shady shit. Like, he's a piece of shit, number one. His company, like, does a bunch of shady shit, and, like, they're not, like, they do unhealthy shit. Like, they're not a good company, and this is not a good guy. He's just putting on a facade of being a good person. But he's like, shuts him down. And he's like, Lois, meet the new reporter, Clark Kent. Clark Kent, Lois Lane, Clark Kent. And they meet each other for the first time. Lois and Clark. So Perry says, hey, Lois, show the new guy around. And stop bothering me about Lex Luthor. And Lois is like, okay, yeah, got it. And he's like, well, she said that way too quickly. She's going to go do something that I don't want her to do. But I'm not going to bother to stop her. So she basically takes Clark with her. She goes to her desk. She's like, hey, Smallville, come with me. I need to grab something before we go. She grabs a wig and a disguise so that she can... basically, she's going to use Clark to distract guards so that she can get into LexCorp so she can get a interview front row with Lex Luthor.
That don't seem too smart.
Well, I mean, she's a hard-nosed reporter, Lois Lane. She gotta...
Lois
to the
to Lois.
grindstone.
Yeah. She basically, like... You're... I don't need to know about anything about you, Smallville. I just need your help with something. As they're leaving, Clark runs into Rudy again, and he's like, "Hey, you have $20?" And Clark's like, "Yeah, I do." It's like, "Hey, can I have $20?" He's like, "I mean, yeah, sure, I guess. Here you go." Gives him $20 because he's like he like makes up a story about not having his bus pass and he left his wallet at home and he's trying to get he's just a dick.
Playing Clark.
And Clark's just a nice guy, so he's just gonna here you go, I guess.
Fool.
So they go to LexCorp, and Clark helps Lois over the gate. Clark's like, "Lois, I know I'm new at this, but I feel like this is illegal. I feel like this is not quite what we're supposed to be doing." And Lois is like, "You're right. Bye."
Yeah.
But Lois, we're part of the press. Can't we just talk to the people at the front to get an interview? It's like, "Yeah, good luck with that. I'm gonna go put on my disguise and go up. I'll see you up there." Because he knows that Lex isn't gonna talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
But can't he be like, "Oh my God, Lex, remember me, Clark?"
Well,
Your kryptonite.
I mean, presumably yes, but he can't even get past the guards.
No, that's
like Lex isn't gonna see him. Like the guards aren't gonna bother Lex with some asshole from the Daily Planet.
Yeah.
Like, so Lois sneaks up to the roof where it's being unveiled, this power suit that LexCorp was working on, and
Is this the exoskeleton?
no. This
Okay.
is just something random that they're working on.
Okay.
And Lois is caught upstairs by the security guards because they know who she is. She's like, "We know that's you, Lois. Like, you can't be here. Like, Lex has made it clear that he does not want to talk to you because all you do is just shit on him." And Lois tries to it's like, "Bye," and tries to run away, but she's on a fucking roof. And she runs up to the edge like she's gonna jump off like an idiot, and one thing leads to another, and the exosuit. There's a helicopter up there, and it was lifting the helicopter to show how strong it is, and it accidentally drops it in front of Lois, and she falls off the side of the building, and Clark on the street he hears her screaming. He's goes to an alley to
Do the thing.
do the Superman thing, and
Does the Superman
does the
thing.
Superman thing.
There it
in
is.
in this very great, and he flies up, and we get the first appearance of Superman.
Man.
And he catches Lois, and he says, "Hi."
Duh.
And Lois is instantly in love with him because
Well, she didn't fall to her death and splat on the sidewalk.
because he's a handsome dude, and
He's flying.
and he just saved her, and so they see that the helicopter is still falling off, and he's like, "Fucking look out, there's a fucking helicopter about to fall on us." Superman easily catches it. He's puts it down on the ground, and he puts Lois on the ground. It's everyone's like,
What the what?
What the
Huh?
Who were you? What is going on? How did you do that? All of these questions. And Superman's just I'm just here to help. That's...
So is the implication that there was a period of time with no Superboy or Superman?
Well, Superboy was in Smallville,
Yeah.
so they don't really know about him.
Smallville just kind of kept to this Smallville thing. They didn't necessarily.
And he was in secret. Like he would fly in, save people. He wasn't doing this in front of like a large amount of people. Like he would like save people, but he would be fast and he would.
I just know they were saying like the news was like referring to him as like Superboy or whatever thing. So I feel like it had to be like somewhat known.
Yeah, it was known in that very small town
Okay.
that he operated in Kansas.
They did not have a big news broadcasting
No,
station.
it was
Got it.
Like, yeah, it was just this
local Channel 2 network.
It was like a local myth because no one saw him.
Okay.
People didn't see. Like he just.
The red blur.
Yeah. So basically, people are like questioning like, who are you? What's going on? And Superman's like getting overrun. He's like, I'm not like, calm down. Like I just wanted to help. Like I'm just here to help.
Mm-hmm.
And a mom is like her kid's like trying to like touch her. And it's like, don't touch him. Who the fuck? Who's this guy? Like, it's like he's like, I'm just a guy. Like, don't worry. Like, and then the cops come by and they're like, all right, hands up. Like, we need to get to the bottom. Like,
right. Processing.
What is going on?
Like, there's like a fucking helicopter just fell from the sky. Like, we need to assess what the fuck is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, I'm gonna leave. So he like flies away. And like all over the city, like rumors start spreading about this flying guy. And he's like, he's hearing all of it because he's got super hearing. He can hear everything. And he goes home and he's like, I think I've made a mistake. Like, I don't know I don't know how to handle this. Like, I've never done this on this scale. Like, this is a huge city with thousands of people in it, and they all want a piece of me for good and for bad. And it's like, I am not prepared for this. Like,
what can of worms did I just open?
I do not know what to do here. That's the end of that chapter. So then we cut to Lex Luthor, and he's doing his gracious Lex Luthor. Good morning, my people. Good morning, Metropolis.
Okay, Jesus, chill.
I'm here to say thank you. Thank you all for being here with me, Lex Luthor, the king of your city.
Hate it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just hate it. That's all I got.
He's just being Sasha's being gracious. He's being a gracious billionaire. And basically what we learn is, like, while he's doing this, he's having his security look at footage of, like, who is the most pathetic person in the crowd right now.
Oh, no.
Because it's supposed to be random. Like, it's supposed to be... But he's, like, looking for, like, what will get him the biggest amount of, like, press for helping someone.
He's looking
It's
for
like,
that pop.
There's this fat guy who keeps coming here every day. Like, pick him. He looks pathetic enough. And Lex is like, who shall I pick? Who shall I pick? You, sir! You there! Come inside of Lex Corp, and I will give you something to better your life.
Lex kind of looks mad about it, to be honest. He's like, oh, not this guy.
He's like, well, he doesn't really want to be doing it. He doesn't want to talk to these people.
Then don't.
But he's doing it. He's doing it for the press.
My bad.
He's like.
There's a reason he's a billionaire and we're not.
Yes, that's
But then
true.
also, he's getting reports that there's a flying man going around the city. He's like, I'm supposed to be the
He's used to be number one.
the top headline, the front page. Why is this flying man? Why is Lois Lane making reports about this flying man? This is bullshit. So anyway, we cut to Lois Lane. She's getting questioned by everyone. Like, what? Tell me about him. What's he like? Who is he? What's going on?
Give me the tea.
Perry's like hey Lois, you got that report? It's like, yeah, I got it right here. And Clark is just being Clark. He's just hanging out. He's just trying to figure out what he's doing. in life. And Lois gets an invite to interview Lex Luthor.
Finally,
Yeah.
the girl gets what she wants.
Yeah. And Lex Luthor, at the same time he's like showing Rudy around around LexCorp, and he's just, hey, because Rudy's a fat idiot, he's like, are all these donuts free? And he's like, yes, Mr. Jones, you can have as many donuts as you like. I don't care. I have to go. I have to go do something else. Something away from you. And they pass by a bunch of chemicals and stuff. This will be important a little later, but he's just showing them around. He's doing the Lex Luthor thing. So eventually, Lex Luthor meets with Lois, and Lois brought Clark with him. And Clark's like, hey Lex, do you remember me? And Lex is like, yes, I remember you. Shut up.
I'm big and important now. I don't
Yeah,
need to go back to my Smallville days.
Yeah, I'm not reminiscing with you. The only reason Lex brought Lois here is because it's like, what do you know about this Superman guy? And Lois's only reason for being there is, so let's talk about all the chemical waste that your company's producing and stuff. Let's talk about how much of a shitty person you are. And they're just like going at each other, just completely
Just dodging each other's questions.
Yeah. Rudy is, he's getting some fitness training, but he's still eating donuts, and one of the donuts lands in one of those chemicals. So Rudy eats it, and it turns him into some kind of monster, some kind of pinkish monster. But don't worry about that. We'll come back to that.
Pepto monster.
Yeah. While in the interview, Clark is hearing like something's
He's like, what the hell is this that I'm hearing?
Something weird's going on. And he's like, I need to go to the bathroom. He's like, and they're like, you don't have to say that, like you're an adult, dude. You could just go. Like like me and Lois are talking. Like
You're just
here.
You can just go. That's fine.
So then, like he tries to get out of there, but to go deal with that. But one of Lex's security comes in, and he's like, Lex, you gotta get out. Mr. Luthor, you gotta get out of here. There's something going on. It's like, all right, this interview's over. Wait, and Lois is like, what? I didn't even ask my questions.
I didn't even get to ask them.
And then an explosion goes off, and it turns out that Rudy has been transformed into a big purple monster, who, if you're a comic book fan, you know that this monster is a Superman villain called the Parasite. And basically, he's this big purple monster who can absorb energy. And he's always hungry. And he's like, you smell good. Because you're fucking Superman, and you got a lot of fucking energy. So basically, Clark gets away and transforms into Superman, and he goes to fight Parasite. And they fight for a little bit, and he bites into Rudy bites into Superman. He starts absorbing his power. He's like, ow.
No.
I don't... Stop
Consent.
it. It's like, yeah, and so they fight for a little bit. Superman's like, okay, that was weird. That's because Superman is not used to being hurt. He's like, well, that was weird. That hurt a lot. I guess I'll deal with this. I don't know who the fuck you are or what is going on, but I guess I will deal with this. And he fights him, 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 and he freezes, and then eventually just freezes him. And that's the end of that. It's really not that. I'm glancing past it because it's really not that important. It's what's after it that happens. Is Lex Luthor's like, everyone's like, oh my god, it's a miracle. This guy, he's just saved.
Everyone again.
He's just saved everyone. Lex Luthor's again like, miracles don't fucking exist. He's like, hey you, the Flying Man. what the fuck are you? Like,
Why are you like this?
like, what, like, is anyone, like,
Nobody else is mad at this.
like, it's not even that. It's like, what are you? Like, you're not, like, this is not, like, you're not a normal, like, what is going on? What are you?
Nobody's questioning this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you even, like, a human? And Clark's like, gotta go.
Come on.
So anyways, what we're not going to do is answer that.
And he flies away, and he's like, and he flies away, and Clark hears, like, people in the street. It's like, is he human? Like, I didn't even, like, what, yeah, what is this dude? Like,
That's a good point.
Because it's like, it's a natural, like, human response. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is freaky, like, this is freaky. Like, this dude is, like, super powerful. Like,
Shooting
who
beams
is
out of
this?
his eyes.
Yeah. So it's like, Clark is still, like, trying to figure out, like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm still helping people, but I don't know how to deal with all of these, like, I don't know how to answer these questions, because, like, I don't even know, like, what I am, really. Like, I know I'm from Krypton, and I know I have and I know why I have my super, but I don't know who, like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what Krypton is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have images and recordings and stuff, but I don't know.
I know it's not Earth, that's for sure.
Yeah, like, I can't answer these questions. I don't know, like, he's just questioning things. So he goes to the Daily Planet and he sits on the roof and he sees Jimmy standing by the edge. And he's like, well, don't fucking jump. And he's like, Jimmy's like, I'm not gonna jump. Like, I just wanted to look at the view.
That's fine.
And Jimmy's like, hey, you're Superman. That's cool. What are you doing here? It's like, I don't know, man. I'm just figuring stuff out. And Jimmy's like, well, that's cool. I hope you, it was nice meeting you, but I'm getting out of here. I'm getting out of Metropolis. Superman's like, why? It's like, well, I mean, I came here to be a reporter, but like, and like a journalist, but like, all I'm doing is just getting coffee for people. Like, I'm just an intern. Like, I'm not progressing towards anything. And Superman's like, I totally get that, because, like, I also came here I just came here to help people. Like, I have these powers, and I want to be a good person, but I don't really, like, I can't answer these questions that people are asking me. I don't know, like, that fucking monster, like, I don't know what the fuck that was. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I'm just existing.
Yeah.
Let's start there.
And so, like, Superman's like, yeah, like, I totally get it. Like, I might be leaving too. But Jimmy's like, well, before you go, can I at least get, like, take a picture of you? And he's like, yeah, I guess, yeah. So then he takes a picture. And it's silly.
A very thugged out pose.
Like, he's, like, holding his, like, he's being awkward about it, and Jimmy's like, let's maybe try a different pose. And he's like, we don't see it right now, but, like, he's like, that's the pose. And he takes the picture. And then we cut to Lois. He's talking. She's, again, fighting with Perry about this, like, we gotta talk about this Lex Luthor guy. Like, he's a piece of shit, and we should be reporting on it. But Perry's like, I can't deal with that. So Jimmy comes in with a picture of Superman, and it's Superman in the classic Superman pose. He's got his arms at his side, and it's like, take a look at this. And he's like, hey, Jimmy, that's great. What do you say we team, me, you and Lois, you two, you've got some connection with this guy. Jimmy, you've got some connection with this guy with the pictures. You write it, you take the pictures, Dream Team. And then they do. And they put it on the front page.
It's that
and
simple.
Lex Luthor being the vain asshole he is, he looks through all the Metropolis newspapers. Lex Luthor, or no. He sees them and it's like Superman, menace to the city. Superman, this guy, just, who is this guy? He's just happy that everyone is like
following his rhetoric.
Yeah, until he turns to one of the papers, and it's a picture of Superman, and it's the Daily Planet, and it's like he's a hero. He's like, all right, fuck this guy, and fuck that paper. We're going to war. Because he's Lex Luthor. He's a vain asshole who's like, no, Superman's a piece of shit. He's getting in the way of people praising me, so he's a bad guy. So I need to go to war with him.
Lex, you dastardly dude.
So we cut to what I imagine is a few months later. Superman is saving people. He saves some people from a burning building. Other reporters and photojournalists are trying to get a picture of him, but he doesn't pose for them. He poses only for Jimmy.
Aww.
So
Jimmy's got the exclusive.
Yeah. He takes a picture of him lifting a car up. Jimmy takes the picture, and Lois writes the story. And it's basically their arrangement. Like, he's decided, like, all right, Lois, you can answer these questions. I trust you to answer these questions. So I'm going to help you out by giving you pictures, and I'm going to stay and continue to do good things because I trust you two people.
Is he still Clark Kenton?
Yeah, he's still you know, he's still got a job and he's still doing it, but he's not the ace reporter like Lois Lane is. He's like, he does his thing at the newspaper. I don't know what newspapers works, but I'm sure he has like an article or something. Like he's doing. There's other news in the city that I'm sure he gets. So Lex still getting pissed off, like, because all the other newspapers are starting to catch on, and they're starting to put headlines of Superman is a hero. He's a good guy. He's saving the city. And he's like,
hello. What about me?
What about me? I'm Lex Luthor.
I am hot and funny and rich, and I can make a lot of cool things. I should be on the front page.
Yeah, so he's like complaining and bitching and moaning about it to General Sam Lane. Lois Lane's. Too many LLs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of LLs with Superman.
Especially
Lois Lane's father, who is in the military, who's like, so Lex, number one, I agree with you. My daughter's causing a lot of problems right now because this is kind of a threat to the U.S. military. This Superman guy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But the only reason I'm talking to you right now is because you like help manufacture weapons for us. So I'll do you a solid. I'll help you out with this Superman thing. As long as you help me out by giving me some weapons. So then we cut to Daily Planet and we meet Lois. She's going through her day and she is met by John Corbin, who is a military guy. Earlier we saw she was given flowers and it's from John. This guy works with her father. He's interested in her. She is not interested in him. And he is like, Lois, look at me.
Of course you're interested in me.
Of course you're interested in me. I'm John Corbin. I'm military man John Corbin. Be a good girl and do as I say.
Look at my flat top crew cut. Are you not wooed?
And then, when Lois is like, fuck off, dude. I'm not interested.
Go away.
He grabs her arm and is like, I don't quite like that. I don't like that.
I don't like
You
you,
see?
so...
So then, I love this part. So then, while John is giving Lois a hard time, little Clarky comes up. He's like, "Hello, sir. Nice to meet you. I'm Clark Kent. You seem to be hurting Lois. Could you let her go, please?" Nice to meet you. It's like he gives him a handshake, and
Nice and firm.
yes, it's very fair. Corbin tries to do that. Tries to squeeze Superman's hand and like intimidate him. And Clark's like, and then Clark squeezes his hand, and Corbin's like, "Yeah, that's a handshake." And he's like, all right, yep. We've established who the dominant male is here. Lois, I will be seeing you later. And Lois is like, "I've known that dude for years. He is not intimidated by anyone. Who are you? Smallville, who are you?" She's like, "Oh, I'm just a country boy."
I just do
Farmer's
farm
dream,
work.
Yeah. He's like, "So, Lois, it seems like your friend just left. Got any plans for lunch?" And they go to lunch. She's like, "I do. Yeah, let's go."
Clark's got that dog in him.
So then we cut to Lex Luthor. He's showing General Lane. He came because of the parasite. He's like, "So that came from your building. What are you doing? Show me some stuff that you're working on." That guy bit into Superman's flesh. Like, so there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, something that he was exposed to is something that can hurt Superman. So he introduces him to the kryptonite and a power suit that is powered by the kryptonite. And he's like, "You could use one of your guys to pilot this thing, and it will weaken Superman. Like, I think this rock is what the chemical was made through the use of this rock.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the rock has something to do with him. And he knows it's extraterrestrial, and he knows that Superman's probably extraterrestrial. So he's like, there's some connection there."
Put the stuff together.
So he decides, like, all right, have one of your guys pilot it. And then that's when John Corbin comes in. He's like, "I'll do it."
Dibs.
So Lois and Clark go to lunch, and they just get to talking. They get to know each other. Because up to this point, Lois has been kind of ignoring him. Like, he's just
Just
some new guy. But she's like, "So, like, you wear a suit that's 2 sizes too big for you. Every time Superman shows up, you're not around, and you just intimidated a military dude who doesn't get intimidated. Who the fuck are you?" She's clearly, like, putting pieces together. And Superman, like, does his Superman thing where he, like, knocks over his food and water just to throw her off. And he fakes, like, having, like, stomach ache, and it's like, "Oof, Lois, I'm sorry, I need to get out of here." Like, just to get out there. He's like, "What are you..." Lois is laying, it's like, "What are you thinking? No way. No, Lois, you're an idiot. No way."
Silly
So
girl.
she talks herself out of it. So the reason why Superman had to leave was he heard a bomb go off. So he goes to investigate it. It's a fake. It's just General Lane just luring him there. Because he wants to talk to him. And he wants to talk to him about... Okay, so, like... you have no affiliation to the U.S. government, and that's a problem. Because you're, like, super powerful, and we don't like having super powerful dudes just roaming free throughout the country.
Yeah.
So, like, either right here, right now. Also, you're having association with my daughter, which I am not happy with.
This is personal now.
So, either right here, right now, you swear allegiance to the U.S. government, me, or we're gonna have a problem. And Superman's like,
Well, problem it is, I guess.
I don't like where this conversation is going, so I'm going to leave. And General Lane's like, I didn't say you could leave. It's like, and Superman's like, I'm not asking. So he leaves. So then General Lane's like, well, I tried. Send him in. And he has his soldiers attack him, shoot at him, and Superman defends himself to get out of there. It's like I'm not trying to hurt any of you, but I'm not going to be imprisoned here.
I'm not gonna go down either.
So he knocks all those soldiers out, and yeah, so he's basically walking right through them. But then suddenly Corbin comes out in the suit, and the suit is called Metallo. Metallo is, again, another classic Superman villain. This is his origin, his new origin, where he's a military dude with a suit. Normally, he's a dude who has, like, robotic parts and a kryptonite heart. But this is him now. So he fights Superman for a little bit, and he beats the shit out of him, and they have a back and forth because he needs to release because the kryptonite is like in this like little pocket in his chest, and he can open it manually. He hasn't opened it yet. But then he opens it, and Superman is weakened, and he starts getting hit by bullets, and he starts bleeding because the kryptonite is weakening him. Unfortunately, one of the bullets, he's not completely like weakened, or he's not completely lost his powers. Like, his body is still
Regenerating.
He still has like the strength, sort of. He still has like the invulnerability, sort of. So the bullets are still ricocheting off of him. They're just leaving impacts.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the bullets ricochets off of his head into the kryptonite heart, and it like malfunctions, and it like blows up. It blows up, and sorry. It blows up and nearly kills Corbin.
Yes.
And Superman gets away. He blasts through the roof and just flies away. And the military are like, well, he's now a enemy of the U.S. government. We need to now go get Lois and Jimmy, because they know, like, they're associated with him. And they go to Daily Planet and go try to capture him.
Try.
Yeah. Lex decides to start experimenting on Corbin, because he's like, well, he's still alive, but like this kryptonite is like lodged in his chest now, and it's like keeping him alive.
Jesus.
So let's experiment on that. Let's see what's going on with that. So Superman, he's on the run. Lois is being confronted by her father. End of the chapter. Next chapter. General Lane is like, "You're coming with us." Superman is a fugitive, and I'm waving my dick around.
Not in front of his daughter.
Yeah, he's like, "You're my daughter. Do what I say." And he's like, "No, I'm not gonna do that." And he then informs everyone there that, oh yeah, by the way, he's an alien. And they're like shocked. So Lex, he's experimenting on Corbin, and he turns him into. He turns him into Metallo. He turns him into
Gives him a kryptonite heart.
Gives him a kryptonite heart, and now he's part robotic.
Got it.
Superman he's running away from the military. He's doing his best not to hurt anybody. But he's still kind of weakened from the kryptonite and getting shot. But he's doing his best. He's fighting the military. The military brought in tanks. They're fighting him, blowing up the street, being just pieces of shit. Lois is like, dude, Dad, can you stop? Like, I know that you like want to be like in charge of everything, but like you're being a dick.
You're endangering a lot of people, Pops.
Yeah, like you can't hurt him. Like, what are you doing? It's like, we can now. We have like this meteorite that like hurts him. And it's like, why are you trying to attack this dude? Like, none of this makes any sense. So they eventually like they get away from the military, and they're going to go to Superman to try to help him out. Corbin comes back with a new suit, and he's Metallo now. He's Robot Man. And they have a fight where Superman this entire fight he's still weakened by the kryptonite. Like, he's still not used to that feeling. So they have a little fight. Corbin starts fucking up his own people because he's like out of control. And Lois eventually shows up. He's like, you gotta get out of here. Like, they have a thing that can kill you. And he's like, you want me to leave? It's like, no, I don't want you to leave, but like, I don't want you to die.
Yeah.
No, to these fucking idiots, especially. So then Corbin is like, you're talking to this dude, but you won't talk to me? And he's like, he tries to attack her, and Superman jumps in the way and beats the shit out of him. And we see Corbin's face, and he's all fucked up. He's like barely alive anymore. He's like a zombie man. And he tries to shoot Lois with his kryptonite laser, because now he can shoot a laser out of his chest.
He's got an arc reactor now.
Yeah. And Superman takes the hit, and he basically x-rays him to see, like, okay.
What about you on that?
Yeah. Like, you still have lungs.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put something over the kryptonite heart and melt. Like, he takes a lid from a manhole, throws it and melts it onto his chest so it covers the kryptonite heart. And he's like, all right, you still have lungs, you need to breathe, I'm going to take you up to space. And he does. And he basically knocks him out. He doesn't kill him, like, he just takes him back. But,
yeah.
Like, there you go. This
Problem solved.
Problem solved. And then he goes back to Earth, and he's like, take your fucking asshole and get the fuck out of here. He's like, you've attacked a soldier of the U.S. military, you're a piece of shit. You're gonna be an enemy of the U.S. military forever. And it's like, dude, get out of here.
You attacked me first.
And the crowd is like, dude.
Boo the military!
Dude, get the fuck out of here. Like, you've destroyed the city doing this. And Superman's like, look, stop. Don't attack the military. They were just doing their job. Like, this guy's a piece of shit, but...
Sure.
Like, the military's they're just following orders. Like, it's not really their fault. They just want me to leave because they don't feel safe with me here. And it's like, the crowd is like, you're like saving the like, no.
You're the best.
Like, yeah, like, fuck these guys. Like, if they want to have a problem, like, we're gonna have a problem with them if they have a problem with you.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that scene in Spider-Man. Like, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. Yeah, that. Like, it's like that. Like, because he's like, no, like, you're a good guy. You're protecting the city. We're not gonna let the U.S. military run you out because they're freaked out by you. Like, we like you. Get over it. They have to get over it. So anyway, the U.S. military, I guess they get called back or something. We don't see it, but like, they get called back, and it's like, the city's decided, like, we can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And Lex is like, what do you mean you can't do anything? Fucking just kill him! get him.
Do the thing.
And he like throws this award, like I think he was like Man of the Year award or something like that, and throws it out the window, and like Superman catches it. He's like, "Hey, you dropped something. So here's how this is gonna work. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay here, and you're gonna get used to it." And Lex Luthor's like, "This is my city." He's losing it. He's like, "You piece of shit! That's it. I'm the savior of the city. I'm like this. You work for me." And it's like, "I don't work for." And Superman's like, "I don't work for you. I'm not going to work for you. I'm just gonna do whatever I want, and you're gonna have to get over it. And if you try to hurt people, then I'm going to stop you. And eventually, you're gonna slip up, and I'm going to be there when you do. And I'm going to be the one to take you down. Eventually, it might not be today, might not be tomorrow. You're rich, like you can get away with a lot of stuff, but you're gonna fuck up eventually. Like you just threw this out your fucking window because you didn't get your way. You're gonna fuck up. And yeah, I'm gonna be.
I'll be there.
I'll be there." So then we cut to next day or sometime later. Their Daily Planet still running stories about Superman. Lois gets a message from Superman to meet her on the roof. Before this, Clark's like, "Hey, Lois, you wanna go do something? You know, trying to get in there." And she's like, "Yeah, quick, shut up! I need to go to the roof," because she's like infatuated with Superman.
Well, someone catches you from falling off a building.
Yeah,
Kinda hard.
And then the other guy is like
Clumsy
and knocking a drink on you during lunch when she's already interested in you, and it's like,
Yeah.
what am I thinking? Like, I got this guy.
Yeah.
So she meets Superman on the roof, and he's trying to work on the globe, because the Daily Planet globe on the roof, it usually spins, but it's so rusted and it's in such ill repair that it stopped spinning. Mm-hmm. So he's trying to work on that. But then Lois meets him up there, and they basically just talk for a little bit about what's going on? What are we doing? Like, well, I'm not leaving. Like, I'm doing good things here. You're doing good things here. I'm happy here. Like, I don't know how to. I don't know what to. I don't have all the answers, but I'm gonna try. Mm-hmm. And they get really close, and they almost kiss, but then Jimmy interrupts them.
Jimmy.
And he's like, "Am I interrupting something?" And it's like, Superman's like, "No." Lois is like, "Yes." Mm-hmm. And then they're like, "We're a good team. Let's continue to do good work." And Superman goes back to the globe, and he gets it spinning again. It's basically just supposed to symbolize
he can keep the world.
He can do little things to make the world better. Mm-hmm. Like even if he can't solve all the world's problems, he can do this thing. He can solve this problem. So then he's like, "Well, I'll see you later," and then he is about to fly off, and Lois has one more question for him. It's like, "Are you a man or are you an alien?" Because that's the big question that's been going through everyone's mind. And Superman just gives the simple answer. It's like, "I'm Superman, Lois." It's like, you named me. Because she's the one who came up with the name Superman. Yeah. It's like, it doesn't matter. I'm here to... It doesn't matter if I'm a human being or an alien. This is my home, and I'm here to help. So then we cut to another day, and Lex is looking at the newspaper. He's like, "Fucking Lois Lane and Daily Planet bullshit, whatever. I'm gonna let me go see my people. I need to see my people." But then, instead of normally where there's a bunch of people crowded outside of his building, there's nobody there.
Well,
they're not looking to Lex Luthor anymore. They're all looking up at the sky to someone else, to Superman. That's where they're getting their hope from, and he's not asking anything from them. So, and that lady that bumped into Clark when he first got to Metropolis. Another dude, New Metropolis, she bumps into him to another guy, and
She needs to watch where she's going.
Yeah, she does. He's he's a nice guy. Tries to help her with the thing, and instead of being like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, thank you." And he says, "Sorry, I was just looking up this guy." And it's like everybody looks up this guy in this city nowadays, because they're looking up at Superman. And yeah, and then basically everyone is looking up at this guy. Lex Luthor looking up the sky angrily. Lois, Jimmy, everybody looking up at Superman. And that's the origin of Superman.
How cute.
It's a good book.
Yeah. So like I said, this book is very condensed down stuff. And that is a problem with it, because I remember what question it was you asked, but you asked like, does he know Kryptonian? Like it doesn't say. It just introduces it, and it's like you just have to like
just figure it out.
Yeah, eventually he learns Kryptonianese, and that's what it's called. It's called Kryptonianese.
Okay.
And it just falls into place. All that stuff falls into place. Like you don't need to see crypto. You just need the ARF. Like you got it.
Yeah.
You don't need to see Superman and his multiple adventures with the Legion of Superheroes. Like that's already a thing. There's already a book called Superboy and Legion of Superheroes from 30 years ago. That's already there. This is just introducing it to the modern audience. Like, this is Superman. This is his origin. There you go.
I think it was cool how they did take so many elements of his history and added in there, but like you are saying, it's like the Spider-Man 3 movie where it's like just so much shoved into it that took away from stuff that you had questions on.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, there was supposed to be another issue which introduced Brainiac, or not Brainiac, Bizarro.
Bundy.
Bizarro. Yeah. That they didn't release for whatever reason. But I don't think it's necessary, really. Like, it would have been cool, but it's just another thing to introduce. Like, we got it. Like, we got Parasite, we got Metallo, we got Lex Luthor, like and we got glimpses of Brainiac and General Zod. Like, we got it. They're Superman villains. There you go.
Yeah.
They're coming.
Yeah.
You just gotta watch for them.
Any thoughts?
I think I knew more about Superman than I realized, but then there were also just enough little details that I was like, oh my god. Like, I didn't realize, like, I mean, you explained the whole rewrite, retcon, but I didn't realize that in any continuity that Lex and Clark grew up in the same town. So it's nice to, I don't know.
I kind of like that, that origin for it. Like, I think it's, like, I don't like when things are too, I don't always like it when things are too, like, what's the word? Like, too close together. Like, I like when things, like, just random, like, in stories, when things, like, randomly happen. Or, like, when people just randomly meet.
Right.
Like, this just happened to be happening at this time. But I do kind of like the Lex Luthor and Superman as childhood friends things. I think that's kind of an interesting thing. Like, I liked it in Smallville, and I liked it in the other Superman origin story, Birthright, goes more into this. Like, in this, they're not really friends in this. They just know each other. In that, they're like good friends with each other, and we see how they split apart from each other.
Were they friends in Smallville? Because I just remember them meeting from him, like, saving him when he falls off the bridge.
Yeah, they were friends for a long time in Smallville, but then eventually Lex Luthor became super evil. So
kind of puts a wrench in things.
Yeah. And it's really good in Smallville. So,
That's really what I remembered as their original connection, was them or him flying off the bridge or whatever and Superman saving him, but like I do like the dichotomy that they had here where they like were introduced early on.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good little just brief origin of Superman and it's more modern than like Man of Steel by John Byrne. That one's a little dated. I still like that one, but and maybe one day we'll come back to that. But that one's a little dated. Like the mentality for Superman at that time was very different than what it is now. At that time, like they really one of the mandates that they had after the crisis was no more Kryptonians. Superman is the last Krypton, because before it was Superman and Supergirl and Krypto the Superdog and also
The Super Family.
General Zod and all the Phantom Zone people, and also there's a little mini city of Kryptonians on Kandor.
Mm-hmm.
Also in space, there was a big chunk of Krypton that blasted off of the surface that just like had a bubble over it, had a force field over it, so it was like floating around in space for years, and there's just a entire colony of Kryptonians over there. So like I completely understand that, but like but the way that they went about like fixing that is like no more. It's only Superman. So that means no more Supergirl, and they had to come up with but they wanted to do the concept of there's a whole thing. There's a whole thing about Superman that is just silly. And I like this because it's like it reestablishes basically all of the great things that have come with Superman over time. Like him as Superboy. They couldn't do that for a while because of certain things, because the original owners, I'm getting off onto tangents, but like the original owners of the Superman IP, they had a lawsuit against DC, and they had a lawsuit for both Superman and for Superboy because they were introduced as two different comics, so they had reason for suing for both, and DC almost lost the rights to. I don't know if they almost lost the rights, but they could have lost the rights to either Superman or Superboy.
Yeah.
So there was a long time they couldn't do Superboy, but this reintroduces Superboy as like Superman was superpowered as a teenager, and he did stuff in Smallville, and he hung out with the Legion of Superheroes.
Interesting.
Reestablishes like the relationship between him and Lex Luthor. So it's a good little thing.
It's a good building block to go off of.
Yeah, I think so. Any final thoughts?
I like that it was different enough, because like Batman, it was like, okay, Zorro happened, 12 years happened, year one, Batman.
Yeah.
Where I like how this was just like...
It was like a gradual...
Yeah, like a build-up of, oh my god, superpower puberty, what the hell? And then he had to kind of get used to that, and then all of a sudden he's like, okay, so I'm an adult now, and I know how to kind of blend a little bit more, but now I'm really going to take this superhero reign, like, for real.
Well, I think that speaks to the importance of Superman's upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
The Kents are so important to the character of Superman that they had to give more to that than the Waynes are important to Batman, but that's not really that's just one thing.
It's like the catalyst.
That's the catalyst. Yeah. But everything that is Batman is within Batman, like him being Batman. Everything that is Superman comes from his origins in Smallville with Ma and Pa Kent. Like, all of that is important for the character of Superman.
And I feel like that is something you see throughout the whole progression of Superman in almost any story that you go to, is like when he's down and out, he's got Ma and Pa Kent to like go to, and like no matter how outworldy the question may be, he goes to them for answers because that's Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
True.
So yeah. So that's Superman Secret Origins. You should pick it up. It's pretty good. Next time, we'll be doing something else. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Till next time.